It happened in less than 10 seconds. A sharp snip, then silence, and then the gasps. Kayla Johnson sat frozen in her seat, her thick, waist-length curls falling around her shoulders like a curtain mid-performance. But one side, one entire side, was gone. The cold bite of the school's fluorescent light glinted off the scissors in Megan's hand. Megan, the queen bee of Oakdale High. Megan, who laughed as if what she'd done was a joke. Her pack of followers snickered behind her like shadows. "Oh my God, did you really do that?" one of them whispered. Kayla didn't say a word. Her hands trembled as she touched the uneven side of her hair, fingertips brushing the ragged edges. The hallway had frozen around her, students staring, teachers nowhere in sight. Phones were already out. Videos, photos, reactions. But all Kayla could hear was the rushing in her ears, not the buzz of the school, not the muttering or the distant bell signaling the end of lunch, just her own heartbeat and that echo of a snip. Megan tilted her head, smiling with that same practiced innocence she always used when she crossed the line. "Relax, it's just hair," she said, fake concern laced through every word. "Didn't think you'd freak out this bad." Kayla blinked slowly. Once. Twice. She stood. All eyes followed her as she lifted her chin, walked straight past Megan, and disappeared into the bathroom without a word. She locked herself inside the farthest stall and stared at the tiled wall. Just hair. It was never just hair. It was her crown, her pride. Carefully moisturized, washed, braided, detangled. Hours of work. Generations of heritage. Megan didn't understand. Maybe she didn't care. But Kayla did. She sat on the closed toilet lid and pulled out her phone. Her hands hovered over the keyboard. She wanted to tell someone. Her mom. Her best friend, Jade. But her thumb moved on its own, opening her messages, scrolling to the contact labeled simply, "Dad." "Kayla, I need you to pick me up. Right now. Please." He replied immediately. "Dad. On my way. Where are you?" Kayla. "School bathroom, east hallway." She stayed in the stall until she heard the receptionist's voice call over the intercom 10 minutes later. "Kayla Johnson, please report to the front office. Your parent is here." When she emerged, the hallway had emptied, except for a janitor pushing a cart. She didn't say anything. She didn't need to. At the front desk, her father stood tall, over 6'9" of quiet power. Sunglasses. A grey hoodie pulled low, but even dressed down he was unmistakable. Magic Johnson, a retired legend, a global icon, a man whose smile could light a stadium, but not today. Today his expression was hard, quiet, protective. She walked to him, holding her head high, her eyes fierce despite the tears she'd refused to cry. "She cut my hair," Kayla said simply. The receptionist blinked, clearly overwhelmed. "Who?" her dad asked, voice low. Kayla turned, pointing toward a poster on the bulletin board. The homecoming queen nominees. Megan's smiling face stared back. "That one." Her dad looked at the poster, then at Kayla, then back. He nodded. "All right," he said, taking her hand. "Let's go." As they walked out, whispers swirled like leaves in the wind. Phones were still out. The video had probably already gone viral. But Kayla didn't care, not anymore. She wasn't going to cry. She was going to respond. And what happened next would make the whole country talk. If you've ever had a moment that changed your life in one instant, drop a comment below. And hey, if this story hooked you, hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more coming. The silence in the car was thick. Kayla stared out the window as palm trees blurred past, her reflection in the glass distorted by speed and sunlight. Her chopped hair felt unfamiliar against her neck, uneven, naked. Magic gripped the steering wheel with one hand, the other resting on his knee. His knuckles flexed, released. He wasn't just her dad right now. He was a man holding back thunder. "I'm not mad at you," he finally said, "but I need to know what happened, all of it." Kayla swallowed. "She came up behind me during lunch. I didn't see her. She just cut it." "She had scissors?" "She said it was just a joke, like it was funny." A deep sigh escaped him. "That girl," he said slowly, Doesn't know who she's messing with. Kayla turned to him. That's what I don't want this to be about. I don't want to pull the "do you know who my dad is" card. He glanced over at her. You didn't. She did. They stopped at a red light. A woman crossing the street looked up and did a double take. Her eyes widened. She whispered to her friend. Her phone came out. Kayla sank lower in her seat. See, she muttered. That's why I didn't want to say anything. I'm not trying to be Magic Johnson's daughter. I just wanted to be me, just Kayla. I get that, he said. But sometimes, baby girl, who you are is what they're afraid of. The light turned green. They drove in silence again, but something had shifted. Her chest felt a little less tight. When they pulled into the driveway of their home, a sleek modern house tucked into the hills, Kayla grabbed her backpack, then paused. Can I just stay home tomorrow? She asked. He looked at her, considering. I'll make the call, he said. Upstairs in her bathroom, Kayla stood in front of the mirror and really looked at herself for the first time since it happened. The right side of her head was jagged, frizzed and uneven from the rough cut. The left side still flowed in smooth, perfect coils. Her eyes burned. It wasn't vanity, it was violation. A piece of her had been taken without consent in front of the whole school. Her phone buzzed. A message from Jade. Jade, girl, that video has over 300K views already. Megan posted it on her story like it was a flex. People are furious. Kayla stared at the screen. Kayla, did she say anything? Jade, she said it was a prank. She's doubling down. Kayla's fingers hovered over her screen. A prank. She opened Instagram and clicked on Megan's story. Sure enough, there it was. Slow-motion footage of her own humiliation, complete with laughing emojis and the caption, "She needed a trim anyway." Kayla's stomach flipped, but she didn't cry. She opened her notes app. Then she started writing. She wasn't going to scream. She wasn't going to fight. She was going to speak, loud, clear, and impossible to ignore. By midnight, the message was ready. Kayla sat cross-legged on her bed, laptop open beside her, her phone glowing in the dim room. She read through her words one last time, raw, unfiltered, and from the gut. She hesitated only once before tapping post. The caption was simple. This isn't just about hair, it's about dignity. It's about how you treat people when no one's watching, or when everyone is. Not just hair, Kayla Johnson. Then came the video, not the one Megan had posted. This was her own. No filter, no edits. Just Kayla, wearing a hoodie, sitting in her room, one side of her hair gone, her voice calm but steady. My name is Kayla Johnson. I go to Oakdale High. Today, during lunch, a girl cut my hair without my permission. She thought it was funny. But here's what she didn't know. She paused, looking straight into the lens. She didn't know what my hair means to me, to my culture, to my identity. She didn't know how long I've spent learning to love it, care for it, protect it. She didn't know how hard it is to show up every day in a world that wants to mock you for it and still wear it with pride. The video ended not with tears or outrage, but a single line. I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for respect. She set the phone down and leaned back. For the first time that day, her breath felt full. She didn't sleep much. When the sun came up, she checked her phone out of instinct and froze. Hundreds of comments, thousands of shares, 10,000 followers gained overnight, celebrities, athletes, activists. Even a few verified news accounts had reposted her video with the hashtag. Not just hair messages flooded in. Conche Moisture. Kayla, your voice is powerful. DM us. Zendaya. This girl's strength? Unmatched. Tracy Ellis Ross. Hair is sacred. You are sacred. We see you. Magic Johnson. That's my daughter. Proud is an understatement. Kayla stared, stunned. It hadn't even been 12 hours. Downstairs, her dad was already on the phone, pacing the kitchen in sweats, a mug of coffee in his hand. She caught snippets, talk of school board, media statements, legal advice. Yeah, he said into the phone. She didn't retaliate. She led. Kayla sat at the table across from him, phone in hand. "I didn't mean for it to blow up like this," she said. He nodded. "That's why it did." Just then, her mom walked in, hair in a scarf, eyes puffy from sleep. She stopped in her tracks. "Baby," she said softly, reaching for her. Kayla let herself fold into her mother's arms. "I'm okay," she whispered. "I know," her mom said, "but that doesn't mean it didn't hurt." They sat together, the three of them, the kitchen filling with morning light and something else, something like momentum. That afternoon, the principal called. "We'd like to meet, today." When they arrived, cameras were outside the school. Reporters, parents, signs, protesters, supporters. Kayla stepped out of the car, hoodie up, heart pounding. This wasn't just about Megan anymore, this was bigger. Inside the office, the principal looked tired, unshaven, distracted. "We've suspended the student responsible," he said. "We'll be issuing a public apology." Kayla stayed quiet. "Also, we'd like to offer you the opportunity to speak at our school assembly this Friday about this. About respect, about identity." She looked at her dad. He nodded once. Then she looked at the principal and said, "I'll do it. Not for them. For every girl who ever walked through those doors afraid to be herself." The gym was packed. Students filled the bleachers, teachers lined the walls, and faculty sat in plastic folding chairs across the front. Cameras flanked the back, some local, some national. The room buzzed like it was homecoming, but this wasn't about school spirit. This was about truth. Kayla stood behind the curtain in the wings, heart pounding so hard she could feel it in her throat. She tugged gently on her hoodie strings and breathed in slow, just like her dad had taught her before her first big middle school debate tournament. "Are you okay?" her best friend Jade whispered beside her. Kayla nodded, then smiled. "Yeah, I think I am." The principal stepped up to the mic. His tie was crooked, his voice slightly shaky. "Today," he began, "we're here to acknowledge an incident that has sparked an important national conversation. More importantly, we're here to hear directly from a voice that has led that conversation with grace and courage." He looked toward the curtain. "Kayla Johnson." The applause started light, then grew. Cheers. A few claps that turned into a wave of support. Her legs moved before her brain caught up. She stepped into the light. The moment she did, the room quieted. Not because of fear, but respect. Kayla looked around at the faces, some sympathetic, some unsure, some still skeptical. She took a breath. Then she began, "I'm not here today to make you feel sorry for me." Silence. Attention. She had it. "I'm here because something happened to me that could have happened to a lot of you. Maybe not the same way, but I know some of you have had your bodies, your identities, your boundaries violated." And someone laughed. A few heads nodded in the crowd. One teacher wiped her eyes. "I don't want revenge. I don't want her expelled. I want understanding. I want to walk through these hallways and not be a joke. I want my hair to be mine, not a target." She glanced toward the corner where Megan sat with her parents, arms crossed, face blank. Kayla didn't look long. "I know some people think it's not a big deal, just hair, just a prank, but if someone touched your body without permission, would it still be just anything?" She paused. What I'm wearing right now, this hoodie, it's not because I'm cold, it's because I'm still healing but not hiding." Murmurs in the crowd, eyes wide, some phones recording. She didn't care. "This isn't just about me. It's about the next girl who wears her culture on her head, or her skin, or in the way she speaks. It's about making this place safe for her, too." She looked down at her printed-out notes, then folded them. "I don't need these anymore." A round of applause broke out, then cheers, real ones. Her voice steady, she ended simply, "My name is Kayla Johnson. I love who I am. And I'm not sorry for taking up space." The gym erupted. Students stood. Teachers clapped. Jade screamed so loud Kayla winced. Even a few of Megan's friends had tears in their eyes. From the back of the room, Magic Johnson smiled. Not the celebrity smile, but the soft one. The dad smile. Kayla stepped down from the stage, walking through the noise but grounded in calm. This was hers now. The moment, the narrative, the power. Outside, reporters rushed forward, microphones in her face. "Kayla, do you have a message for Megan?" She paused just long enough to matter, then said, "Watch the video, it's all in there." It was a quiet Saturday afternoon when Kayla walked into the salon. Tucked into a sunlit plaza in Baldwin Hills, the place smelled like coconut oil and lavender, filled with the gentle buzz of blow dryers and laughter between stylists. Her stylist, Marcia, looked up from her station and smiled warmly. "You ready, baby girl?" she asked. Kayla nodded, pulling down her hoodie. The unevenness from Megan's scissors was still there, more visible now than ever. Marcia didn't flinch. She didn't pity her. She just reached for her comb. "All right, let's take our time." As the chair reclined and the warm water ran through her curls, Kayla closed her eyes and let herself feel something she hadn't since the day it happened. Peace. No cameras, no principal, no school halls, just her. 45 minutes later, Marcia turned the chair slowly toward the mirror. Kayla opened her eyes. Her hair was different now, shorter than she'd ever worn it. A soft-shaped afro that framed her face like a halo, neat, clean, proud. She stared at herself for a long moment and smiled. "This," she whispered, "feels like me." Marcia beamed. "That's all that matters." Outside, the sun cast golden light across the pavement as Kayla walked toward her dad's car. He got out as she approached, took one look, and smiled so wide she thought the sky might split. "You look like your mama did at your age," he said. Kayla rolled her eyes. "You always say that." He opened the passenger door for her. "That's because it's always true." They drove in silence for a bit, a comfortable quiet. Finally, he said, "Megan transferred schools." Kayla didn't look over. "I figured." She never apologized. Nope, not once. Her parents made a statement, but she didn't say a word. He nodded, then glanced at her. "You want her to?" Kayla thought for a moment. "I used to," she said. "But now, I think I'd rather she learn, grow, feel uncomfortable enough to change." He nodded again. "That's how we win." Later that night, as she sat on her bed scrolling through comments on her latest video, a new notification popped up. New message request. A Megan L. Aus. Her breath caught. She stared at the screen, then tapped. "I know you probably don't care, but I'm sorry, I didn't get it. I still don't fully, but I'm trying. Your video, it stuck with me. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Just wanted to say it." Kayla stared at it for a long moment, then typed, "Growth starts with listening. Thank you for starting." She didn't hit send right away, but she did eventually, just before midnight. 2 weeks later, she sat with Jade on the steps of the school courtyard, warm fall air wrapping around them. "I can't believe you got invited to speak at that youth summit in D.C., Jade said, elbowing her. Kayla laughed. "Neither can I. You coming with me, right?" "Girl, you already know I booked my ticket." The bell rang. Students flooded the courtyard, but this time, and they smiled at her. Waved, said hello. Kayla tucked a curl behind her ear. This wasn't the end of her story, not even close. It was the beginning of a louder one, a more fearless one. The kind of story that didn't just change her, it made space for others to stand taller, speak louder, and wear their crowns without apology. If this story moved you, you're not alone. Hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below, because this next video was chosen just for you, and trust me, you're going to love it.